So it's a common concern that patients are actually worried that if they start to use cannabis, they're wondering, is it going to make me anxious or depressed? What do you have to say about that, Dr. Solomon?
Well, I think in a short term, if someone's using cannabis for a very short period of time, or just that time that they're using it, they can get some anxiety when they have that euphoric psychotropic effect.
And so if they're using cannabis frequently, are they at any risk of developing a longer-term anxiety disorder or even becoming bipolar?
Well, the Journal of the American Medical Association just came out with a study where they looked at 35,000 people who had smoked cannabis on a regular basis and found that there was absolutely no increase in any type of anxiety disorders that are depression or bipolar.
Well, that's really interesting because I think that goes to the contrary of what people have been thinking or have been taught over a longer period of time, because the DEA and the government have actually tried to link cannabis use and anxiety disorders, as well as physicians, for a long period of time.
Well, the physicians is just because I think they're just not familiar with the data such as this, as well as the fact that they just are ignorant about cannabis in general. But the government, who is familiar with cannabis, has been demonizing it for years and years. And the federal government says, oh, linking depression and cannabis consistently, and the DEA lists it all the time. The quote fact sheet said in 2014, 14 times that they're linking anxiety and depression to cannabis use, essentially to help justify their Schedule 1 designation of the drug.
So it sounds to me that the bottom line is that if you're using cannabis, you might end up having some anxiety while you're using it.
It depends. Well, it depends on the strain as well, and how if you're used to using it. Like you said, if you're new to cannabis and you use a very high THC containing strain, you may feel that anxiety. So be careful when you start to use it.
Well, and it could also be linked to whether it's sativa or indica, and so it's just how your system reacts to that. So in the short term, you may feel anxiety and possibly even some depression, but over the long term, you're not at risk for developing an anxiety disorder.
That's what this study has shown, correct.
That's great. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.